Hello guys, welcome back in Goku Manhwa channel. Let's continue. At the opening of the chapter, we find Hasu stepping into a hushed neighborhood as the afternoon light slowly sinks behind the rooftops. The breeze is mild and carries the faint aroma of jasmine flowers drifting along the narrow lane. She moves carefully toward the modest library building, her pace unsteady, as though every step balances a thought she cannot quite silence. Within, a warm greeting meets her. The attendant, neatly dressed and lively, welcomes her kindly. Hassan returns the gesture with a nod and a faint smile. Yes. Her voice is calm, yet her eyes carry another truth, a quiet weariness softened only by a glimmer of fragile anticipation. The curve of her lips resembles that of someone enduring for too long, waiting for a change that may finally arrive. As she writes her name in the register, BMI's narration settles softly like an echo of memory. I decided to search for a corner of my own. However modest or hidden it might be, a soul requires a place to pause in peace. That was something Kang Mitchell once explained. He said, "Only then can tomorrow take shape." I wish to become that shelter for him. The voice fades as the attendant leads Hasu down a narrow row where old brick houses and tended shrubs line the walk. The area appears almost unreal, resembling a picture polished to conceal its cracks. Sparrows rest along the wires, singing in rhythm with the murmur of faraway engines. This way, the attendant encourages warmly. You will like this one. The rooms, the study, all connect seamlessly. You may begin reading or resting at once. Hasu follows into the building. It is tidy, bright, and close-knit. Light pours through the windows, striking faint dust specks that hover gently in the air. The guide moves from corner to corner, speaking with the eagerness of someone determined to replace silence with brightness. The structure has been thoughtfully arranged, she explains, for smooth balance. You notice this section? It belongs to our latest Meridian design. A modern reading chamber, high-grade shelves, adaptive storage, and a tranquil energy that helps the mind relax. Hasu listens, though her focus drifts away. Her gaze shifts from the tiny lounge toward the narrow corridor. Imagining books that may not fit. Conversations that might echo too loudly within such a confined shell. Given my reality, she thinks I should feel thankful even for a retreat such as this. Yet the thought never settles. Uncertainty spreads slowly, like mist. Will this truly work? She envisions Taiha, his broad shape always stooping beneath low beams. His tendency to lie sprawled on the floor whenever space disappears. Even our present quarters feel tight. She sighs quietly. This option feels tighter still. Her chest grows heavier. If he enters this room, the boy will surely feel restless. She whispers faintly, as though words could harden into truth. The guide, unaware of her inward struggle, turns with a radiant smile. So, are you the person who will be staying here? Perhaps newly settled. The remark startles Hasu for a beat. Ah, yes, she mutters. I imagine so, the woman replies with a gentle laugh. You give off that aura. But if there is a partner, this place could seem a little too small for two. A pause. Hasu stiffens. Partner. Earlier, she had said she was alone. The faucet feels light yet weighty, like a pebble striking still waters. It is fine, she reminds herself swiftly. After all, Taiha often remains nearby and explaining the truth would be tiresome. She forces a slight smile, bowing her head politely. The guide continues, leading her toward the inner chamber. By the way, she adds in an almost casual rhythm. When do you expect to have children? The words linger in the air longer than they should. Hasu blinks slowly, uncertain if the words reached her ears correctly. Pardon me, she murmurs faintly. The guide laughs lightly, brushing the thought away. I only meant if you ever expect a family, I could show something larger. Once a child arrives, such a place will feel too small. Children grow quickly, requiring open ground to explore. Without it, they will only feel trapped. The quiet that follows is heavier than before. Hasu studies the narrow room, the bare shelves, the pale walls, the faint vibration of the fan in the kitchen beyond. It begins to resemble a dwelling meant for someone else entirely, someone free from burdens and guided by clearer hopes. Her eyes soften as they lower. A faint smile touches her lips though it never reaches her gaze. After a moment she breathes, not for us. The syllables hang weightlessly, delicate and final, like specks of dust suspended in sunlight before descending to rest again. Beyond the window, the wind moves gently through branches, carrying once more the faint resonance of BMA's voice. I wish to become that shelter for him. The scene changes to an office where a young woman sits. A colleague approaches and tells her that he will not be coming in today. She replies calmly, "That is fine." Soon she makes her way to meet Bam. Stepping past the entrance, she finds him at once. BM appears unsettled, his mind clearly elsewhere, weighed down by unspoken thoughts. A narration overlays the image. There is no assigned duty this morning. Could there be another reason? The girl notices a stuffed toy resting in Beam's hand and feels uneasy. Could this matter be grave? Bam remains lost in reflection, failing to notice her standing nearby. The scene cuts to Bam beneath running water. As he bathes, his gaze lifts to the mirror and a memory surfaces. "Ah," he mutters. "She asked for my neck but left her mark across my entire skin." He smirks at his reflection and says bitterly, "Do I appear like some fruit candy to be tasted?" He steps from the shower as his assistant calls for him. BM responds, "Yes, go ahead." The assistant informs him they have located the woman linked to his younger brother. Lighting a cigarette, BM asks further. The assistant explains she is 10 years older, divorced as well. BM grips his head, bursts out laughing, and muses darkly. What a reckless choice my brother has made. To desire someone already discarded by another. Unless something inside him is damaged, how else could he develop such a fixation? I never imagined he was living with such boldness. Yet if she is only this, she cannot serve as a tool against our father. Likely he is merely passing time. BM pauses before adding, "How long could it continue?" I give it 3 months at best. The greater the thrill, the faster it burns away. Then perhaps it should be left alone. Still, I must see her myself. The next cut shows you crossing the frame. We hear once again the boy's inner voice. I want to witness for myself how far a woman long separated from her marriage will go when clinging to a man 10 years her junior. Things grow more curious. We then glimpse a gentle-looking youth leaning against a pillar. He moves toward a cluster of strangers and asks timidly if they could spare a match or a spark for his cigarette. When they oblige, he thanks them softly. Yet his gaze lingers on their faces and unease creeps across his own. These men are BM Tai and his shadow-like aide. Meanwhile, Hasu receives a quiet notification. Work progressing. She responds, "In my spare hours, I have been hunting for apartments, and beyond that, I wish to keep it from him because I knew he would insist on helping once more." Luckily, Tai has not learned the reason for my distractions. Even when I told him to stay away for a time, he complied without question. We see Hasa lying awake in darkness, her mind tangled with heavy thoughts. She whispers inwardly, "I was the one who sent him away. If he attempted something reckless just to earn cash, it would end badly. This is the wisest choice. Then why does it weigh so much?" In the background, a narration flows. Since crossing paths with BMI, Hasu has been wrestling with unfamiliar burdens. I was slowly reshaped by your closeness. I hoped the unread notes would keep arriving. I knew you were swamped, yet I still long for you to find me even if late. On days without you, the thought struck suddenly. I felt wounded like a childish soul. Later, Hasa registers at an inn. The clerk asks if the room is for one night. She answers yes. He points her toward the lift on her right and asks if she needs anything further. "Yes," she murmurs, then adds gently that people say this inn carries a ghostly story. In the following scene, BM appears. He remarks with a sly grin that he feels uneasy. Would she stay and keep him company? A figure steps into the frame. Bam gazes through the glass and the figure stands just behind. He pivots and she speaks firmly. "Stop." She commands again. "Stop now. Turn and fulfill the role you once vowed as my partner."